Hi guys, my name's Doug. Welcome to my messy garage. In today's video, we're going to continue working on the Harbor Freight style blasting cabinet. Today we're going to be setting up a light, putting the glass in, and doing the final connections so that we can get the sand back up into the sandblasting gun. Stay tuned to the end and you'll see how this blasting cabinet actually performs. Thanks for watching. Our first step, getting this all hooked up and running today, is going to be connecting the vacuum feed or the media supply feed back up to the gun. This is our metering valve that we set up the other day, and we need a barb fitting that will fit with some hose. We have the barb fitting. Will fit in there. A little tight, but that'll go. We have some Teflon tape, wrenches, and clamps. I prefer to use the Oetiker clamps as opposed to a worm gear clamp, and pliers for doing the Oetiker clamps. Okay, there we go. That appears to be a good length. And the way I like to do these Oetiker clamps is give the first ear just a little tweak and then give the second ear, spin it around and give the second ear a good crimp. And here's our upper fitting. So I can do this without bumping the camera. There we are. Well, that means that the unit is actually functional, meaning we can put sand in the bottom, have it suck up to the gun, and spray. Now we have a few more little tasks to deal with, and let me show you what those are. So as you can see, the glass isn't installed yet. That is on my list of things to do. In one of my earlier build videos, I mentioned that I was going to keep the glass in its nice protective cardboard and foam padding until it was actually time to put it on. And we're almost there. But one thing that I wanted to do prior to that is I want to put lights in, or a light in. And I'm thinking an LED light bar that sits up something like that and shines down into the cabinet would be a good idea. And the reason I want to put the lights on the outside of the cabinet instead of putting them on the inside where they're normally done is that I do want to be able to potentially do vapor blasting with this cabinet at some point in the future. And electricity and water don't play well together. So let me pull this lighting bezel or glass bezel off, and we'll see if we can figure out a way to mount this nice LED light bar to it. Here's the light bar I plan on using. It's nothing special, it's just a cheap one that I got off of Amazon. When I was picking it out, I was hoping that there was going to be enough of an angle on these brackets that would allow me to mount solidly to the bezel, but have the LED sticking out kind of like so. But unfortunately, these brackets just don't quite have enough reach on them. So I think what I'm going to end up having to do, I grabbed a scrap of angle that I had kicking around, and I'm going to have to cut a piece kind of like so, and then mount the light kind of something like that. That way it'll allow me to put a little bit of pivot into this. I can shine it back towards me or away from me as needed, and it gives me a nice solid mount to the bezel. So let me knock off a couple of pieces of the appropriate length here, and then we will get it mounted. That kind of looks like it'll work. I'll mark that with a Sharpie, and we'll cut off 2 of those brackets. And here's our brackets that I've made up. They're pretty close to the same. That'll do. I've marked a hole approximately where this should line up and be able to pivot. So let me center punch that, and I will pilot drill it, and then we will match it up to the other one. 1/8 inch should be a good pilot drill, if this bit's any good. Fresh battery in the drill, or at least fresher battery. Or maybe not. Well, since we've got 2 dead batteries for the big drill, let's try the little drill. Here are the bolts that we'll use to mount these brackets to the end of the lights. It's not quite going to fit through an 1/8 inch hole. 11/64 looks pretty good though. Take a big drill bit, deburr the holes. Here's one end. That looks pretty good to me. I'm going to put a measurement on there just so that the light is relatively centered. Call it playing to my OCD. I was close. 900 millimeters on both. We're very, very close to it. Basically, the brackets will be lined up with the holes, because on the back side, the holes have a nice notch that I'll be able to fit the head of the bolt into. Keep the fastener well back from the glass so that we don't accidentally crack the nice tempered glass that they give us. Because tempered glass doesn't tend to crack, it tends to explode. So we've got the holes drilled in the brackets. Now we need to measure across 9 centimeters or 90 millimeters from the edge of the frame. Actually, it's probably closer to 91. Check the other side. Just a little bit back. There we go. Now we line up the hole there with that hole. Not quite big enough to go through the plastic. Well, that's all right. We'll go to the next size up. Bolt drops in there nicely. Drill these out too. This end in place. We'll get the other end. And where'd the other bolt go? There's the other bolt. We're ready to try this on the cabinet. I think I'm going to dig up the glass and lay it in place as well. I don't want to install the glass permanently yet because there's still a couple of little jobs that we have to do inside the cabinet, and they'll be much easier to do without the glass in place. But I'd kind of like to see how this is going to fit, and we'll hook up 12 volts to this and see how that is going to work. I don't have a wall wart for this yet, AC adapter. I'm just going to use my benchtop power supply for the time being. I do have one on order. Hopefully it'll be in a week or two, and then I will be able to have this set up, so I just plug it into the wall. I'll bring it back when I have it mounted back on the cabinet. Here we are with the basic setup. We've got the bezel not all the way bolted down. We've got the glass installed. I've got the acrylic sheet with a protector. You can see a protector is on the top surface here. For some reason, that came from the factory that way. It doesn't make sense to me that the transparent protector would be on the outside, but that's how they did it. I put one on the inside to help keep the acrylic sheet from getting too chewed up. And now we'll turn on the light. I'm pretty happy with it. There's a little bit of spillover right here at the edge, which you got to hold your head just in the right position so that it doesn't blind you. But that's not too bad. I could put kind of a deflector on there that pushes more of the light down into the cabinet if I find that it bothers me. But I don't know how well that's showing up for you guys. Let me pull the camera off the monopod here and I will show you what I'm looking at. There's the inside of the cabinet. So we've got the glass in with the light on. We've got the metering valve installed. We've got it hooked up to the gun. We've got our air system hooked up. We don't have the dust recovery system set up yet, so I don't want to get too carried away trying it, but I don't know about you. I think I want to see how this thing cleans up some steel. I got a short chunk of angle iron here that I'm going to fire up, and I will see if I can clean it up with some blast media. Not the world's best angle for recording, but we'll give it a try. There's a piece of steel that I'm going to use. There's not a whole lot of rust on it, but there is some mill scale. We'll see how that cleans up. Now, supposedly, we can do this with just a couple of scoops of blast media. Six tuna cans. What a lot of people use for scoops when they're putting media into the cabinet is a big gulp, or like a 32 ounce recycled pop glass. I don't have one of those because I don't drink pop. And hopefully I don't bump the light wires. They're kind of a little bit sketchy here. And we're running 40 psi. Let's see what it does. Okay, I am getting some surging, so I need to open up the valve. That's the metering valve that I just opened up a little bit. It's doing a beautiful job though. Okay, we are starting to get some dust coming out, so I think that's time to stop. We need to get the dust collection system going, just for a safety standpoint. But let me pull this out and I'll show you what we got out of it. I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera, but all of the mill scale is gone in this area. It's a nice uniform gray. Almost all of the mill scale is gone. It's done a nice job cleaning it up. I'm quite happy with that. Not a lot of effort. I'm not having to scrub at it or anything like that. So there we go. We saw sandblasting happen. As I say, I do have to do a little bit more work to the dust collection system. There's a shield needs to go inside, and piping up the cyclone that we built in a previous video. I'll put a link here to that video. And we'll need to do that before we call this thing complete, but I'm quite happy with the progress we've made on it. I'm going to call the video here. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and we'll see you in the next one. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. For more great content from Doug's Messy Garage, click on one of the videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. Thanks for watching.